Good morning, guys. It's kind of a rainy morning here in Alabama, so you may hear the rain hitting one of the vents behind me, and also means that it's a little bit dark, which that's okay because I don't get any prettier no matter how much lighter it gets outside. So, what I thought I would talk about this morning, I had a pretty good question when I shared the story about how I met my wife. And somebody basically asked if when I met my wife, was I aware of the was I aware of the divorce and annulment laws in the Philippines? And was I aware that Filipinas sometimes lie about their marital status? The answer to both of those questions is yes, I was aware of that. At that point, when I met my wife, I had been in the Philippines. Let's see, it was 2011. I'd been in the Philippines for about 9 years at that point, or over 8 anyway. So I was well aware of the law in the Philippines. Now, if those of you who are not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'll try to link in here in this video to the video I did about annulment and divorce in the Philippines. The short version is there is no divorce in the Philippines. There is annulment, but annulment is a difficult, lengthy, and expensive process that the average Filipina is not able to get done. That's the background. Now, having said that, the question is, do Filipinas lie about their marital status and get on dating websites and that kind of thing? The answer is yes. Yes, it does happen. The next question is, how common is it? Well, the tricky part there is, how do you define common? What is common, really? It does happen. You'll hear from people that it's happened to. But, what percentage of Filipinas online are lying about their marital status? There's really no way to know. And one thing that I can tell you, and this is not just related to this topic, but a lot of different topics. One thing that happens is it's kind of a squeaky wheel getting the grease kind of thing. Sometimes if you have someone that's had a bad experience, then that person's going to get online and get on the forums and maybe troll my YouTube channel and all this stuff because he's disappointed with what's happened to him. Whereas a lot of guys that marry Filipinas and are happy, they're quiet. They go on and live their lives and they make babies and they go on with their careers and everything else, and you just don't hear from them in some of the same type of forums where you may hear from the guys who've been scammed or hurt or whatever. So I think sometimes when we're talking about bad experiences like this, because people who have had them can be a little bit louder, there's an assumption that there are more negative experiences than positive, which obviously that's not true. There wouldn't be so many men looking to the Philippines to find wives if it was all bad experiences, or even if it was a half and half bad experience kind of thing. So it does happen, and I don't think it's necessarily that common, and I'm not saying that to downplay the people that have been hurt and their pain or anything like that. I just think that in many ways it's not going to be a winning proposition for a woman to lie about her marital status, especially in the long run. So, how could you look out for this? What are some red flags that you could look for if a woman is lying about her marital status? Well, there are a couple that come to mind. Maybe there's others, and all of you are welcome to chime in. One is she's probably going to be, I would think she's going to be a little bit reluctant to have you meet her family. Now, why is that? Well, keep in mind that Filipinos are generally honest people, and they're also generally very family oriented and they're going to have a lot of respect and even reverence for the marriage covenant. So if she's already married and she gets you to meet her family, she would basically have to get the entire family to go along with the scam, and she would have to make sure that nobody in the family accidentally says something to you. So that's going to be in my mind, that's kind of a difficult thing to do. Now, could it be done? Maybe, but to me, it just seems kind of difficult. And another thing that comes to mind here is if she takes you to where her family lives, especially if it's a smaller town or provincial area, she would almost have to get the entire barangay to be in on it because the way Filipino communities work, everybody's kind of in everybody else's business. There's gossip, chismis, as they call it. I mean, people kind of know what everybody else is doing. And if she's already married and then she brings you to her town or to her barangay, to her province, whatever, she would also run the risk of somebody walking up and saying, "Who is this guy? Where is your husband?" So again, could it be done? Could the scam be pulled off? Sure, it could. But to me, those are that's one thing that would be difficult to do is how does she introduce you to her family or introduce you and take you to the place where she's from without somebody blabbing about it. Now the second red flag I think that you could look out for is, and this happened to a guy. There's a British expat that's talked about this. Unfortunately, he was scammed this way. If she's really married already, then she's probably going to try to get you to, if she's taking this really to the next level, this scam, she's going to try to get you to marry her outside of the Philippines. That's what's happened to there's a British guy who talked about this on his channel. He met a woman online. She already had children. He knew that, but he didn't know she was really married. And she really insisted that they get married in Hong Kong. Well, eventually it came out. He found out that she was already married, but the reason that she wanted to get married in Hong Kong is there would be no way that someone who's already married could get a marriage license in the Philippines. A part of the process of getting a marriage license in the Philippines is that you have to get it's called a CINAMAR for short. It's a certificate of no marriage record. A certificate of no marriage record. And that takes, I forgot how long that took when my wife and I applied for it. But you have to get this official government record saying that we do not have this name associated with any marriage contracts or marriage license, however you want to put it. So obviously, if she's already married and then the two of you were to go to the local courthouse and apply for the license, eventually the game's up because it's going to come out that she can't get a marriage license because she's already married. So those are just a couple of things that come to mind. Is if she's already married, I would guess it's going to be hard for her to introduce you to her entire family. It's possible, but to me it'd be kind of difficult. And she is not going to want to apply for a marriage license in the Philippines. So finally, you say, well, Kevin, if a woman knows that eventually she's probably going to get caught, why would she do something like this? Why would a woman lie about her marital status? There could be different reasons. It could be that she's trying to scam you for money. That's why I always tell people do not send money to someone you've never met in person. It could be that she's just miserable and she'll settle for whatever kind of relationship she can have with you online, or she's really going to try to take this to the next level and get a fake marriage with you and just be happy with that for as long as it lasts. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what someone's agenda like that in that circumstance would be. But obviously it's very short-term thinking because, like I said, it seems like eventually, one way or the other, that would come out. So anyway, that's my take on Filipinos lying about their marital status. It's just something when you're meeting someone online, you just need to be cautious and be cautious about what's going on. Be cautious. Don't chat with somebody for 2 weeks and suddenly tell everybody you're in love. And meet her in person as soon as you can. So it's something I've said before already. So those are just my thoughts on that topic. Hopefully this video has helped you. And maybe at some point, I've talked a little bit about scams, but maybe at some point I'll elaborate on some other scams that people do. But keep this in mind finally. I do believe that most Filipinas that get on a website like christianfilipino.com or something like that, most of them, especially the ones that try to get on a reputable website, they're just looking for a good husband. They're not looking to scam anybody. So anyway, hope this video sheds a little bit of light on that subject.